Dear friends, I greet everyone for whom democracy is not just a slogan or something abstract, but real actions. Actions that prove every day that we are stronger than anyone who tries to threaten us. What have we learned about the democratic world since the first such summit? 5 things. First, democracy is a unique resilience. No matter how strong your system is, when the total war of aggression against your nation starts, you're stepping into the unknown. You do not know ahead where the weakest point is, but you know for sure when your people are in the habit of struggling for their freedom, and when your society has the experience of uniting for the sake of joint actions. You know that your people will take advantage of every chance that they get in the fight to protect themselves from enemy attack. Ukrainian democracy proved it. Second, democracy is uniquely motivating. In the very first minutes of our full-scale war, our people answered for themselves the question of why it is worth fighting. Ukraine deserves freedom, and the essence of our character. Everyone is born free, and I'm sure you feel the freedom in the same way, and we will win for sure. Our unity gives us such confidence. Democracy is a special chance for unity, the best unity which the humankind has ever had. This is the third important thing. Tyrants and autocrats are tempted by the idea of analogy, as they say, real unity. But their unity is always not for, but against, not on the basis of respect, but on the basis of hatred, not for the sake of living, but for the sake of enslavement. So, the voluntary union of people and nations based on awareness of their rights is always more effective than any kind of forcing of de facto enslaved people to subjugate others. That is why the Ukrainian wartime democracy, with the support of the free world, inflicts defeats on Russia. Fourth, democracy is a special gratitude. For example, when COVID came, it seemed that selfishness would rule the world and nations would isolate themselves within their capabilities. But unity won. Those who were conscious helped those in need, and this saved millions of lives. And gratitude for such assistance is a fertile land on which decades of global cooperation for the common good will grow. Now, when we ask for support in defense against Russian aggression, we find support in different parts of the world and in many aspects, in protecting our people with the force of arms and in protecting our people with the force of law. And I'll give only one example that describes everything. Thousands and thousands of Ukrainian children have been kidnapped and forcibly deported to Russia. This became one of our most difficult tasks, to return home to Ukraine all kidnapped children, children whom Russia is hiding in remote regions, separate them from their families, give them up for illegal adoption with living parents. These children are lied to that their loved ones abandoned them. Russia tries to force them to forget Ukraine and come to terms with staying in Russia. This is the Kremlin's genocidal policy. But we were not left alone with it, and I am grateful to everyone in the world who is helping us overcome each of the manifestations of such an evil. I call on all of you to support the efforts of the International Criminal Court, which recently issued an arrest warrant for Putin in the case of the deportation of children. I also urge you to support our efforts to establish a special tribunal for the Russian aggression against Ukraine. When the aggressor is fully responsible, the whole world will see what is awaiting those who undermine international democratic order. And finally, the fifth, democracy is a unique guarantee. The guarantee that every person, community, minority, every nation will be respected. In this, democracy needs to be accompanied by the rule of law. When democracy and the rule of law work together, respect in society is strong. When respect is not enough, it's necessary to give a wider path to equality and the law. It's necessary to be as quick as possible to prevent the democratic system from being broken or occupied or corrupted. And I thank everyone in the world who appreciates quick joint actions as much as Ukraine does. Thank you all whose actions strengthen not only him or her personally, but also democracy as such. Thank you for your attention. Glory to all who fight for freedom. Slava Ukraini!